Brooke Point took a visit to Patriot. This game was moved to Monday and actually had wonderful weather. Brooke Point coming away with a 48-26 victory, and Damone Drew with yet another big game. Awfully impressive running back here.
Yeah, and he did it with half the workload that he's been getting all season. 148 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on 17 carries. He had 38 carries last week in their game. You know, and I talked to Tommy Buzzo earlier in the week for Player of the Week feature I did on Drew, and he said we want to kind of take some of the load off of him so that we're not putting too much pressure on him, physically especially, on the offensive side. This is a good indication of what they're capable of. They had 30 rushes, 30 passes, spread the ball around. Brock Carnes had a big game, 276 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. They got their receivers involved. Just a really good, balanced offensive effort by Brooke Point.
What kind of quarterback would you say Carnes is? They've gotten a lot of nice games out of him. You know, this one included.
He makes good decisions. I mean, I'll say the first pass he threw bounced off of one of his own players and into the hands of a defender who ran it back for a touchdown. But you know, that was a kind of a fluky play. I think he's good. I think he's a good leader. I think he distributes the ball well. He got his receivers involved in the offense. You know, he's a good quarterback. I think he's one of the best in the area in terms of passing the ball. So he's an asset for them.
Yeah, they definitely have weapons outside on the edge. You know, with Maurice Jones and Donovan Fobbs. You know,
some youth as well, though. It sounded like this was a back-and-forth game early on. Maybe halftime, coach settled them down and turned things around for the second half.
I think early second quarter is when the tide kind of turned. The first 13 minutes or so, there were 6 touchdowns scored in that period of time. It was 20-20 early in the second quarter, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, Brooke Point just kind of started rolling. I think they scored 4 straight touchdowns at that point and really kind of took control. They only gave up 2 offensive touchdowns. One was a pretty good drive by Patriot. They passed the ball the entire time. The other one, you know, it was the second-team defense that gave it up. So good defensive effort by Brooke Point, I would say as well.
That's a lot like the Mountain View Patriot game, of course, the week before. Patriot kind of touchdown for touchdown with Mountain View for a little while, and then at some point Mountain View wins out. I think notably, of course, with this one, you look at the Stafford schools, North Stafford, Brooke Point, Forge, and Mountain View against the Prince William, Manassas, those schools, Gainesville, of course, with Patriot, Nokesville, I guess, undefeated this year.
Yeah.
You know, the tide has definitely shifted.
That group, the only losses have been amongst themselves.
Yeah.
You know, games that someone has to lose because impressive performance so far this season from Spotsylvania County.
Stafford County.
Stafford County, excuse me, Stafford County high schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including a Brooke Point 48-26 victory over Patriot.